What's up, guys? You're listening to another episode of Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. In this episode, we're going to talk about repeat purchase products versus complementary products. What are the better products to sell on Amazon? And I think more specifically in this episode, I'm talking about your very first product or your very first product line. So should you focus on like the business strategy of a product that is going to be a repeat purchase product? So something that people buy over and over and over again, whether it's the exact same thing over and over again, like a consumable, or if it's a different style or design of the same thing over and over and over. So that's, that would be considered repeat purchase products versus the business strategy of building out a complementary product catalog. So all the different products that you may sell in the future that you might come out with for product 2, product 3, product 4, they're all in the same niche. They're all in the same category. They all fit within your brand. You're building a strong brand, but every product, every SKU that you come out with is essentially a totally, maybe not totally different. We'll talk about it. We'll give some examples. A different product, but a complementary product to the previous products, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get straight to business here. So let's first talk about repeat purchase products. These would be defined, I would say, as products that customers buy repeatedly, such as consumables, replenishables, or products with a short lifespan, or I would also probably throw in apparel. Okay. So when you think about consumables, replenishables, we could say stuff like, let me just think, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I'm going through mentally, I'm going through like my Amazon orders. I'm not even looking at it on my phone, but consumables, replenishables, things that I buy on a regular basis. Chinchilla food for my chinchilla mostly. Hay for my chinchilla. Those are on like repeat order every 2 to 3 months. I literally just go back into reorder again, click the hay. Oh, also sticks because he likes apple sticks. So sticks, hay, chinchilla food. I'm just repeat purchase buying those over and over and over from the exact same person, the same seller, the same brand. So that can be extremely valuable, right? Because once you get a customer, very high chance if they have a good experience, they're just going to keep buying from you over and over and over. I think the brand is called Oxbow. My small rodent friends are like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oxbow Essentials. They sell the chinchilla food and the hay. If I think about it, I think it's like $11.99 for a bag of chinchilla food. That lasts me about 2 months. But when you think about the dollars there, guys, that's $12, 6 times a year. My chinchilla might live for 15 years. That's $1,080 just for chinchilla food over the next 15 years that I'm going to pay Oxbow Essentials. So you can see how valuable it is for Oxbow Essentials. Like, man, once we get that Andy guy in the door with his chinchilla buying our food, we got him for the next 15 years. I can't imagine myself switching. I've been buying it for the last year. I don't see a reason why I would switch. I mean, my chinchilla seems to be doing good and healthy. So that would be considered like consumable, replenishable. You also think about like a really popular category on Amazon for this would be supplements. Supplements, vitamins, right? You get someone in the door, they have a good experience with your supplement. They're going to buy it every month, every 2 months, whatever your serving size is for the next, who knows how long. They might buy it for the rest of their life. They might buy it for the next 40 years. It's a lot of money from one customer. So you can see for most of those products that are repeat purchase products, consumable, replenishable products with short lifespan that like, you use it out, it breaks, you buy a new one, but it's no biggie. You're like used to that. Like shoes, I mean, for kids, right? They wear out their shoes. They got to buy another pair. Now they're probably buying a bigger size or whatnot, but like shoes, you wear through them, clothing, stuff that you might use for work clothes, stuff that you're getting dirty, garbage bags, cleaning supplies, like all that kind of stuff. You can see that for those types of products, the cost to acquire a customer very likely is going to be very high. So when you're strategizing about your business and thinking, okay, what direction do I want to take here? Do I want to go after like strong repeat purchase products like consumables, replenishables, supplements? And they don't just have to be generic stuff. Like you don't have to sell paper towels or toilet paper. There are brandable, good product ideas that would categorize as a repeat purchase product, a consumable even, or a replenishable like we talked about. And we'll talk about a few here in just a second. But those can be great product ideas and brand ideas because again, you just heard what I said about spending $1,000 on chinchilla food over the next 15 years. But again, the cost to acquire a customer in that type of product on Amazon is likely going to be a lot more expensive. So we're talking advertising costs. If you were to go look at, Jungle Scout, in their tool, you can see when you do Keyword Scout and you look at certain keywords, you can see what the bid is for a specific keyword. In fact, let's just take a peek really quickly here. Okay, so I'm here on chinchilla food on Keyword Scout. We can see right here the top keyword, chinchilla food. We're looking at 10,000 searches a month. The PPC bid exact match is $1.16. Easy to rank, difficult, organic product count 3,000. Not that many products, not that many brands, which makes sense because like how many people really are going to sell chinchilla food? It's already a super niche pet. And then the food, like how many options are there? It's pellets. Like I don't think customers need a whole ton of different options. But you can see the bid is $1.16. Now you might say, that's not very expensive. Like that's a pretty low bid. But if we were to look at how much chinchilla food costs, it's $10. Oh, $10.99. There you go. There's the one I buy right there. Oxbow Essentials. It's $10.99. It's $11, at least for the 3-pound bag. That's the one that I just keep buying. But most of these other ones here, $10, $12. You're looking at about, $10 to $12 for a bag of chinchilla food. So a bid of $1.16, while that might seem like, wow, that's not crazy. That's for a $10 product. If you were to think about a $20 product, the bid would likely be double. So instead of $1.16, you're probably looking at a bid of like, $2.50. Now, $2.50 for a bid on a keyword, that's pretty high for a $20 product. And again, if you were to double that again, a $40 product, a $5 bid on a $40 product, that's pretty high. And this isn't like a super high-end premium product. This is a consumable. It's chinchilla food. So that's my point is, bids on keywords for high repeat purchase products are likely going to be high. I think a much better example other than chinchilla food, because let's be honest, most of you guys aren't buying chinchilla food. Let's do a pre-workout for men. This will likely be a better example, or this should show similar results to what I'm talking about here. Pre-workout for men. Okay, that's kind of a more niche search term. It's only getting searched 3,000 times, but look at the PPC bid for that, $3.85. And if you look further here on the page again, look at all these other keywords down here. We've got pre-workout, C4 energy drink, pre-workout powder, pre-workout for men. Oh, there we go. Pre-workout for men, 68,000. There we go. It's like, that's what I was expecting. 68,000 pre-workout for men. I put a hyphen in. Most people don't take the time to do that. $2.67. $2.67. Let's go look at the prices of these products. We're looking at $20, $20, $40, $20. I would guess probably most things are going to be between 20 and 40. So we're looking like 20 to $40 for pre-workout for men. But again, 30 servings on most of these. So it's, 1 month, maybe a little over a month worth of use. Every month, every 2 months or so, someone is spending $30 with your brand. That's why $2.67. Again, you might be like, whoa, that's a high PPC bid. You're going to lose money. Likely, you're going to lose money on the front end, like your ACOS. I would be shocked if you can get a really good ACOS. At least, you can. Obviously, you can lower your bid. You don't have to bid $2.67. So you could get a low ACOS, but you're not going to get as many sales every day. If you really want to pump volume and get sales, have a little bit higher ACOS. Point being though, repeat purchase products likely are going to have higher advertising costs because you're playing the long game of acquiring a customer, and that customer is going to be very valuable for you long term. Okay, they're going to be long-term value for you. Let's talk a little bit about complementary products here for just a second. Okay, so complementary products would be products that more complement or enhance the use of other products. So it's not like chinchilla food or pre-workout where you're just buying the same thing over and over and over. This business strategy would focus more on opportunities to cross-sell or upsell your customers. So both strategies, you're focusing on how can you continue to get your customers to purchase. Like you want your customers to keep coming back and buying from you again and again and again, right? So building an email list off of Amazon, building your social media platforms, your followings there, or even, just getting customers to remember your brand name by good branding so they come back and look for you again. Just having a good strategy of keeping your customers coming back to buy more, that should be a part of any business strategy. But when we think about complementary products, it's not so much, okay, I'm just going to focus on chinchilla food or pre-workout or apparel, clothing, right? Like t-shirts where people are going to come back and buy different designs or styles of my clothing or t-shirts. But every product is unique, but it's complementary in some way. Let's just talk about maybe some examples here. Now, I mentioned I was going to talk about examples of repeat purchase products as well. So let's actually talk about both. Let's talk about some examples here so we can see, okay, what would be some examples of a repeat purchase product strategy versus a complementary product strategy? And let's just think about the kitchen category. Let's say, okay, I'm interested in kitchen, home and kitchen. What are maybe some different types of products that would be considered repeat purchase products versus complementary products? So I've got a list here of some ideas, and I'm not saying that these are all home run ideas. I'm not like researching or really endorsing any of these ideas. I'm just using them as an example, okay? Repeat purchase product ideas if you were in the home kitchen. Coffee pods or capsules. So people reordering their favorite blends and flavors of coffee pods or capsules. Kitchen cleaning supplies, detergents, sponges, brushes, things that people frequently restock, right? They get old, they wear out, gotta order it again. Cooking oils and spices, olive oil, coconut oil, specialty spices, things that people would buy over and over. You see a lot of people who come up with their own like blend of barbecue spices, right? I see that a lot. Baking ingredients, flour, baking powder, yeast, all that kind of stuff. Reusable food storage bags, water filters, toilet paper and tissues. We mentioned that. Those are probably the most common. Paper towels, right? Air filters, cooking and bakeware stuff. There's like a parchment paper, aluminum foil, even just like pans, certain types of pans. I don't know. There's some ideas, when you're thinking about consumable, replenishable types of products in the home and kitchen space. Now let's talk about maybe some complementary products where maybe every product is slightly unique in some way, but they all kind of fit under that same brand, that same umbrella. So if someone comes, discovers your brand, finds one of your products, they'll be a lot more likely to purchase another one of your products that you may offer. So cutting board accessories, knife sets, knife sharpeners, cutting board mats. So that's like, okay, that's one, I don't want to call it a product line, but like a niche within a niche. So you're within home and kitchen, you're like, here's the knife and cutting category of my brand. Knife sets, knife sharpeners, cutting boards, cutting mats, right? Kitchen utensil set, sink accessories, dish rack, sink caddies, soap dispensers, cookware accessories, pot and pan lid holders, splatter guards, silicone handle covers, all types of different complementary products related to cookware, spice rack organizers, mixing bowl sets, dining table accessories, placemats, table runners, cutlery sets, napkins, decorations, baking supplies. We talked about aluminum foil, parchment paper as like a replenishable, but we've got like silicone baking mats, pastry brushes, cookie cutters, like muffin pans, like just all those other little gadgets and things related to baking. Other types of food storage containers, different types of Tupperwares, different types of, I don't know, I guess Tupperware, that's just what I call any type of storage container. But yeah, there's all sorts of like little gadgets. If you were to ever walk through, I think they're going out of business, right? Is it Bed Bath & Beyond that's going out of business? But I remember we registered for our wedding there, my wife and I, so we went in there like a bunch of times to like pick out our wedding registry list. And you go through like the home and kitchen gadget area and there's so many things. Half of them like, what the heck is that? Like, oh, it's a garlic crusher or an avocado slicer, or just like so many random spoons and scissors and knives and gadgets for doing certain things in your kitchen. So you can literally just build out a whole brand selling complementary type of kitchen products like that. So there's some examples of like different types of products. And again, you can build a full brand, a full business following either one of these strategies. You really just have to figure out what is the right strategy for you. What's the right strategy for you? And now if you're like listening, asking yourself, well, Andy, I have no idea. I have no idea what the right strategy is for me. Some advice that I would give you. First of all, look inwardly at your interest and experience. What do you have interest in and experience with? Because within both those lists of ideas that we talked about in like the home and kitchen space, like you could be really into home and kitchen. Like, Andy, I love cooking. I love baking. I love being in the kitchen. Like that's my happy place. Okay, great. But even within the kitchen, what is actually interesting to you? What is actually interesting you about being in the kitchen? I'm just thinking out loud for myself, because personally, I enjoy cooking. I'm one of the guys out there who enjoys cooking. I love putting the apron on. I love cooking. I'm not so good at cleaning up. So when it comes to products that are like about cleaning up the kitchen, that's not interesting to me. So I talked about like sponges and dish racks and like, yeah, I wash the dishes and I actually do the dishes every night. I empty and load the dishwasher, but I don't particularly enjoy that. And some people do. Some people are like, that is therapeutic for them. So like that, it's a great example of looking at yourself and be like, oh, I actually find doing the dishes very therapeutic. So that would be something like, hey, maybe you gravitate that way. But for me, I'm more interested in cooking meat. My wife, she does a great job of making the sides most of the time, but I love cooking meat. To me, it's like every time I cook a piece of meat, whether it's hamburgers or a big steak or a brisket or pulled pork, it's like a work of art. It's like I'm a sculptor in a way where like I'm messing with the temperature and the seasonings and I'm making this sculpture. And this is my work of art, to where the look of it, the taste of it, the texture of it, that is what gets me excited to get in the kitchen and cook. And that's what gives me fulfillment. So any product that relates to cooking meat, for me, that's what I would maybe gravitate towards. Now, even again, within that, I'm like, okay, I'm super into grilling, barbecuing, smoking meats. Would I gravitate more towards the replenishable side of things or the complementary side of things? Next thing I would probably look at, other than my interest, right? Because I'm like, okay, I'm dialing it in there a little bit more. But what is my budget? What is my budget? Because your budget can play a factor in the opportunities and possibilities. You might have this idea for this really cool gadget, that, does something. It's something that's in demand, right? It's like tongs of some sort, but like all the tongs that you've used in the past suck. You can't pick up heavy meat. Like it's really hard to grip. Like you have this concept for like these tongs that, I don't know, flip a steak better than the tongs you've seen everywhere else. But it's like customized, it would create, you need a custom mold or custom machining. That might cost you an extra $10, $20, $30, $50,000 to make that product come to life. So it's like, if you don't have that cash on hand, or you're not comfortable taking on that debt and that risk through the form of a loan, credit card loan, bank loan, business loan, investors, you're not comfortable taking that risk, that's not going to be a product for you. That's not going to be a direction you're probably going to want to take. So go do some product research. And if you're like totally open to like, hey, I don't know, consumables, or complementary, I'm totally down for either one. Write down a big list of products in that category, in that niche, in that interest. Go look on Jungle Scout, look on Amazon. Use all the tools, right? All the strategies we've talked about on the podcast in other episodes as well, right? To come up with product ideas. Write them all down and then go start doing some research. Go on Alibaba, start searching up some of these products and figure out how much do they cost. Some might cost you 50 cents. Some might cost you $50. Like, there could be a huge range in the cost to get these products made. And so again, figure that out and figure out which one of these aligns with my budget. The other thing too to consider when we're talking budget and which product, which strategy you want to go with is consumable products that, people just keep buying over and over and over again. You likely are going to not spend as much to get the product made. Cause think about it. If it's a consumable product, something that people are just buying over and over and over and over and over again, likely it's not going to be that expensive. Am I right? Like most of the time, it's not going to be that expensive. So you're not like someone's not spending $150 every single month to buy toilet paper. They're looking for a good quality option. If you're like me, a good quality toilet paper, but at a great price or whatever it is, dish soap, some other things, right? That we mentioned, aluminum foil, parchment paper. Like these are cheap. I shouldn't say cheap. These are low cost products, consumables, right? Replenishables. So when we're talking budget, it's likely going to be cheaper to get the product made per unit. But again, you're still going to want to have a really good budget for marketing because you're going to spend more on your advertising. So lower cost, most likely to get the product made, more money spent on advertising. And for a complementary product, it could be the flip side, where if it's something like a knife set, people are buying one knife set and then they're done. Ain't nobody coming back to buy another knife set the next month. You buy your one knife set, great. So you might spend more money on the inventory upfront because a knife set might cost you $10, $15 maybe from a supplier. But maybe on the advertising side, you don't have to spend quite as much. Not saying you're not going to spend money. You're going to spend advertising dollars, but it's going to be more efficient for you because the bids relative to the cost of the product, the price of the product relative should be a tad lower, unless it's like a super high demand product category. So both strategies, they have their financial aspects to them. And so you just got to really think about what feels more comfortable to you. And I think it also applies to your skill set in the sense of product development and skill set of advertising, right? These are two big factors here. If you have the skill set or the savvy, the eye, the mindset for product development, like you're really inventive, really good product ideas, going for like the complementary product strategy for your business might be really, really profitable for you because you can come up with really cool, unique products that are different and a whole bunch of different ones, right? A whole bunch of complementary products that all complement each other and build out this really cool brand and really going hard on the development side of things with the products and the marketing side, like kind of takes care of itself in a way. It's not quite as critical. And I'm like biting my tongue because it's obviously critical, you know that, but it's going to be a little bit less of a burden financially. I'm trying to think about the best way to say that. Hopefully this is making sense to you, right? If you're getting the picture here, because if you develop a really awesome product, it's really different, it's really good, people love it, word of mouth spreads, you're going to get sales. You're going to stand out from the competition. Your brand is going to thrive. You're going to use advertising, but it's not going to be like the most important aspect of everything that you do and critical to actually like making it happen. Versus if you're selling parchment paper or toilet paper or chinchilla food, advertising is everything. Because like, think about it. How well are you really going to like differentiate your toilet paper? There's only so many ways you can make toilet paper or parchment paper or aluminum foil or dish soap. Yeah, like you see all these dish soaps are like, we're 100% organic and clean. And there's all sorts of ones out there, you know? And they're all great, but it's like to really get a customer to buy yours, you got to go hard on your marketing, social media marketing, Amazon PPC, like marketing and advertising is everything for you. Because if you can acquire a customer, you got them for life. Think about these pre-workouts. I think about these pre-workouts. They are all essentially the same thing. Are they not? If I were to go to Amazon, I'm not going to pull it up right now, but if I were to go to Amazon, type in pre-workout for men and click through all the different pre-workouts and like read the label of every single one, I'd be willing to bet they're maybe like 10% different. They're all going to have the same ingredients. They're all going to have caffeine. They're all going to have glutamine. They're all going to have arginine. They're all going to have maybe taurine. Like they're all going to have vitamin B12, vitamin B6. Like they're all going to have essentially the same thing. The ratios might just be a little bit different. So if it's all the same commodity product, really, how do you get someone to buy your pre-workout versus the competition? Marketing. Yeah, branding, like you want to have a cool brand name, I guess, and you want your jar to look kind of cool and attract your target customer, but it really comes down to marketing. It comes down to advertising, marketing your product to attract your ideal customer and get them to buy. Do you need to be like a brain surgeon to develop like the next best pre-workout? No, you really don't. Whatever these people tell you about like, oh, like we have the best formula. Like, no, you don't, dude. Like you literally just went out there, found a formula from something online, changed it by like 5%, added a little more caffeine and called yours Turbo Supercharged C8 pre-workout. Like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to make a pre-workout, but it does take a rocket scientist to market one effectively and actually make it a profitable business. So I know that was a little long-winded on that topic, but to recap, think about what is your interest and experience with consumable products in a category versus complementary products in a category? Which one of those is more interesting to you? And then from the side of product development strengths, advertising and marketing strengths, where does your strength lie? Now you might say I have absolutely no strength in either of those, or you might say I'm really good at both of those. So in that case, I'll just say follow your heart. Like at that point, like if you're like, Andy, I'm not good at product development and I'm not good at marketing, you're probably going to want to outsource, right? You're the type of person where it's like, you got to pay someone else to do both of those things for you. But if you're the type that's like, Andy, I feel like I'm good at coming up with cool products and concepts. And I also feel like I'm pretty savvy when it comes to marketing and advertising. Great. Follow your heart. Do your market research, figure out where the opportunities are, map out a long-term strategy for your business, and then follow your heart and go for it. A mistake I think people make when it comes to starting up their Amazon businesses or just e-commerce brands in general, is they don't look 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the road. They look at 3 months down the road. They look at product number one and they completely neglect the future of their brand. They're so focused on like staring at Jungle Scout numbers or Amazon research or whatever tool they're using. I don't really care, but they're so focused on like the numbers of that first product that they pick a product, but they have no plan for the future. They have no plan for variations of their product. They have no plan for how are you going to acquire that customer if it is a consumable type of product where, you know, that is the main focus. Or if it's not a consumable or it's not a consumable or replenishable, it's not toilet paper or, you know, parchment paper, but it's, you know, a cool gadget, a knife set, right? A cutting board. They have no plan for what are the complementary products you're going to sell. Now, you don't have to know the next 10 products you're going to sell before you start. Like, as far as like all the research goes and like, oh, I've researched 10 products and found suppliers for 10 products. You don't got to do all that before you start. Start with one. Like, let's get this thing going, but at least have an idea, at least have a vision, in your head. And hopefully you're getting your vision out on paper somewhere or on a computer, at least. Where do you see your brand going? What do you want your brand to become, to evolve into? I tell this all the time, guys. Like when we started Remy and Rue, dog bandanas. I remember way back in the early days when we were like thinking about the brand name and everything, we even told ourselves like, we're not going to be called Remy dog bandanas. We don't want that to be the brand name because we know we're not going to just sell dog bandanas. We knew back in 2018, we were going to sell other types of pet products, other dog products. Now, we didn't know exactly what was going to be product number 2 or 3 or, what every single design would look like. I had no idea what our leash would look like in 2018, but we knew eventually we're going to sell a leash. We knew eventually we're going to sell other types of stuff in the dog product space. And we had ideas of, products like, we can sell bowls and toys and collars and leashes and all sorts of different things. But at least we had a vision, a direction, knowing, okay, this is the direction we see our brand taking over the next 3 to 5 years. So that's what I would also recommend is just make sure whatever strategy you have is like, where do you see the direction of your brand headed in the future? Because that's going to also impact what type of first product, first brand strategy, all that, how you're going to go about that from day one. Okay. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this as well. And I truly appreciate, by the way, everyone who leaves reviews, who's been subscribing to the podcast, whether it's Apple or whether it's Spotify or another platform. Thank you guys so much. But I love the messages as well. I love the messages on social media saying, hey, I listened to the episode. This episode, resonated with me or whatnot. So if you guys listen to this episode, obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think on the repeat purchase product, the consumable replenishable direction strategy versus the complementary types of products strategy. Maybe what strategy you're using right now for your brand, or if you haven't started yet, which one you're kind of leaning towards and why. I always love to get feedback from listeners to hear, from other sellers, other people, kind of what your thoughts are and why you decided to do something a certain way. So hit me up on Instagram. Let me know your thoughts on the episode. Guys, again, I appreciate you. Let's keep building. Let's keep going. And by the way, if you hit that subscribe button, man, it would mean the world to me as I try to grow that channel to help you guys out. You're listening to Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. We'll see you in the next episode.